At this point, I'm beginning to feel like, hey, I'm kicking some butt. It's fairly easy. It's like Magic Realm. Once you start finding enough of this stuff, once you start getting, enough spells or whatever, in this case the skills, you start becoming quite potent. And it is starting to feel like, well, maybe a couple of good adventures is all the game has in it. But now I look at Cleanse the Blight, and it's looking like, well, okay, I may be potent, but that doesn't mean that there's not ways of throwing curves, and we'll see what there is here. So to begin with, we put a clue in a number of different locations on the board, and those are important. Those are places where the Blight is spreading. However, it's already infected the Temple of Madness and the Tunnel of Terror. We created a deck, a mission deck, which is going to be the Alchemist, and then you'll be able to buy, I guess, the blasting charge from him. And the mold meter. Now, it's not terribly well explained what's going on here. I'm not seeing too much there, but let's keep going. And then there's fungus in these two spaces. Okay. The goal of the game is to remove all the funguses from the highland and lowland and destroy the Tunnel of Terror. Okay. When you deliver the sample, I guess we grab a sample here automatically, and we've got it with us, to the Alchemist, who's going to be in Brutalberg. Right? That's what it said. Mission, you'll need to locate a scholar of considerable talent if you hope to find a growing threat. When you deliver the sample, the Alchemist examines it and eagerly begins to conduct a series of tests. And if you rest in Bold Stance in Brutalberg, you get to take the Alchemist from the mission deck and resolve that card. You don't get a random encounter, which doesn't mean you don't face monsters. You might. If you approach the Alchemist, you can analyze the sample and create a powerful corrosive liquid, which is something we had before, the mold melter, which I wish I hadn't used because I would have it for free now. However, you probably need to get it from him because his mold melter is special. It's big and can be reused. And I don't know if you have the singular one, it should be that big. Anyway, the way you use that is while resting in an explored space with a clue counter, you may remove the clue counter from the space. You destroy the capacity of the Blight to grow there. You can also take the blasting charge, in addition to any other. If you buy the mold melter, everybody becomes detained because he's making so much of it. If you use it while resting in an explored space with a clue counter, you may remove the clue counter from the space. If you use the blasting charge to destroy the Tunnel of Terror, you remove the fungus counter from that space and from the Temple of Madness and reduce the danger level of both these spaces to 1. Now, I'm not getting to the Tunnel of Terror. I'm not sure. Does it connect from the Madness? Probably not. But it's a metaphysical, which means I'm not going to be able to get in there easily. Like I had a problem before. Of course, everybody's got a status right now. Most of them, it's poisoned. But, if I don't rest, I would be fine. But I'm pretty beat up after Lord Scrotum, so I probably can't wander around and do all this in that time. The Blight itself during the danger, this is the special parts of it, during the danger phase, the first party's danger card corresponds to a space with a clue. Then there's a fungus placed there. Or, if there's already a fungus there, you spread the fungus to all paths and roads. Or, if there's already a fungus on all paths and roads, you throw a perilous counter there. Or, if it already has a perilous counter, you throw a metaphysical counter in that space, which will make it so that you can never get rid of the clue there because you can't explore metaphysical spaces. Which seems a little weird, but whatever. That's okay, though. Your goal has nothing to do with removing the clues. The clues are your problem. They're going to spread. So killing them is good, But your goal is to destroy this. And if you can do it quickly enough, you don't have to worry about the clue spaces. Of course, they're probably going to start sprouting. So I had to add this explored space because I have explored the crossroads. I just didn't leave a marker there before. So that's that. And then we get some kind of reward if we succeed in this and stuff happens. And we'll see what the effects are after we do it. But we can't really rest here effectively because it's a perilous space. So we're going to have to come out and try to find our way about. Well, weird shit happens. Metamorphosis. Shady dealing, sorry. It's a resolve immediately. Find an agent of the worst rank involved in secret dealings with the Highlands Marauders. Draw a law card in addition to the normal monster card you draw this turn. The party may bribe each monster in the space as if they were from the law deck. Well, I have lots of money. I feel tough, and I've switched the breastplate for the spiked shield. I'm going to fight these things. Yeah, we're fighting an extra monster, but that's okay. We're good. And we kind of want to reduce, the risk levels everywhere anyway, which we wouldn't be getting the chance to do otherwise. We do have to deal with an arrival ability of Curse. I don't think that's terrible. Target makes a magic chest. Yeah, we're pretty good with that. Interesting magic item here. Quick action. We can take a ghostly monster, make a magic or morale chest, and hex the critter. I'm going to throw that over to him. And rearrange some of the stuff, so he wants the puzzle prison too. The hunting net he has to carry because he's the only one carrying. He's carrying 2 heavy items. Everybody's got 2 heavy items. We're going to be selling stuff very shortly, but I think we want to go to the bandit camp and invest because we're maxed out on money, and selling stuff isn't going to work, until we dump some of that cash, etc. And it'll help us to get something into green. I didn't use my familiar. I'm not really that interested in stealing stuff anymore. If I could sell him, I would. I could transmute him into gold. There's an option for that. I should probably pick that up. But right now, I've got plenty of money. We upgraded this. Did the thing. We haven't done is drawn the danger card. Nothing too exciting happened here. Blasted Heath. Uh-oh. This isn't going to be a problem because we're in a green area, but the Blasted Heath got upgraded, which is going to be somewhere in the red shit. Yuck, 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 yuck. Looks like a nasty area. It's probably where we have to go to win the whole campaign eventually. It's like the final mission, I would guess. I don't know. We had a reshuffle last turn, so nothing got upgraded. Which is kind of cool. Getting my way down to Brodelberg, but, I got this fatigued on the guy least likely to get it. But, maybe we can split up, to tell you the truth. Because everybody else could kind of force march. The other option is we all rest or something. So I don't know. But I kind of want to get that, underway at Brodelberg, and then I can meet him. So I don't know, maybe split the party into 2 groups and try moving that way. And then he can actually rest, and we can search this area for whatever use that is. I don't know how much value there is to that. This isn't really a useful location. Just happens to be indoors, but it's not a possible settlement, so I don't know how valuable it is. The mechanism's a little different because we did separate out. So he's going to be moving cautiously. These guys succeeded in their role. They draw the first danger card. This is the only one that affects a location, and it's the Temple of Madness. Woohoo. Okay. We get a 3 in a metaphysical. We didn't find anything. Now the other group is also in the foothills, and they just draw to see if their number matches. They've got a 5 number. I don't know if the reshuffle of the danger deck gets affected by this. They wouldn't have cause something if they drew this. There may be a problem if you don't do that every time it comes up. So I think it's gonna. I think I'm gonna reshuffle, because otherwise, that card's not in there, and I like that card being in there. First of all, it causes less growth of problems, but they also did not meet anything. And our lagging group meets something on the way. I haven't gotten to these guys yet. They'll draw their card in a bit. But we also had an effect where this got raised. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to deal with a fair number of things. There are no heretics other than him, so he's not going to be bonus. The only thing we really have, we have no arrival abilities. Annoy doesn't affect him. Drain. I'm having trouble reading. He recovers a wound if he causes wounds. Okay. And Dimwit, we know. Onslaught means guard is not good against him. He gets an extra attack value, so I may not want to be in guard. However, I have a bonus on guard, so I probably will. Event, however, an ostentatiously dressed man of wealth passes through the area under light guard. The party may approach, fight, or ignore him. I don't know. I mean, we're not really mean. We will approach him. One adventurer may attempt a morale test. Yay. If the bounty level is 5 or more, you automatically fail the test. And if you have a clever disguise, you may roll 3 dice in any 2. So let's see. Make the morale check. Maybe we'll get hired, you know. I don't have to have that drawn. So I succeed. I would have succeeded either way, but I can't really read these. My eyes are so shitty. If you pass, the aristocrat offers to pay the party to escort him. Roll a d6 to determine his destination. Roll again if you're already there. If you accept, you take the card as an ally. If you bring him unharmed, he will pay each adventurer in the party a d6 plus 1 gold. Then reduce the bounty level and discard the card. If you fail, the guards will attack you. Unless it's Brutalberg, I don't think we want to go at all. The money's not important to us. And 6 pigskin port. We're just not gonna. We're not gonna take him. Now we have to draw a card for these guys. They were. Shit. Let me see. We were here. Moved 1, 1, 2. And they were here. So these guys are actually resting. So I shouldn't have drawn this yet. I should be doing the rest action and meeting the Alchemist. I'll do that in a moment. And let's see. I don't have any of this I gotta do. Unfortunately, I'm gonna lose my Exalted. I can explore Brutalberg. That makes sense. I want to do that. I get a marker there for that. Bunch of stuff to do. I might as well improve Brutalberg. I have tons of cash. I don't know. It's pretty high up. Maybe it doesn't make much sense to. Do I have experience? I do have a little bit. Is there something I want for 8? I did the mend wounds. I have this. I have that. There might be something I want for 8 or less. I don't want the meditation one, but there may be something else I want. And then I'm going to be able to do the... If I approach him, I can do what's on the card, which are a number of things. I can transmute an item and get an alchemical item from the discard pile, or get some experience points for him because he's a scholar. I don't think he is. Or I can test a random drug, or I can just not choose to do any of those things and just do this stuff for the adventure and start working on that, which is kind of cool. So I don't know which I want to do out of any of those, but first I want to see if he has something he wants to buy worth 8. Because the blasting charge requires a die roll and you get a bonus if you have alchemy skill. I bought alchemy, not necessarily what I want. It's a good way to make money. I'm detained because I bought the mold melter. I may not need it, but at least I can start wiping some of these out. If those start spawning, I've got problems. And remember, getting into here is hard. It is metaphysical. So we may not be able to make it in there in order to fire it off. Let me just read this. If you were on a bridge, you may discard this to be destroyed counter on the space. But also if you're on the Tunnel of Terror. Yeah, the Watchtower. And the Tunnel of Terror is this, yeah, so that's no good. I have to be able to go there to blow it up. So, detained isn't going to help me. I'm not allowed to move with that. I do have to, at the end of all of this, draw one of these. There's a possibility that a law event could affect me. But it doesn't. I get one of these reshuffled to danger decks. Again, I'm going to do it. I think there's 2 in the deck. This one looks different from the last one, but I think that they kind of have to be in there. I also bought some cheap crap, some mystery meat, which I can throw to monsters or use myself, and some medicine, which might be kind of risky. It can poison you. And then this flash bomb, which can kind of daze critters, but it might blind you. And now we're, like I said, we are detained, which means we have to do another rest. The clue is gone already. These guys can catch up with us, and then we can move, or these guys can rest, get rid of the fatigued, and then gather together elsewhere, which might make a little bit more sense. You guys were resting. We drew the black tree again. Came up, there's the one problem with reshuffling. Came up, everybody had to spend luck. So we blew some luck, and then we're going to be facing 3 monsters and a potential event in the lowlands. So let's see. That is not a play immediately, so we got some monsters to deal with. And a couple of them have summoned, so we're a little worried about that. This guy's got Necro. He's worrisome too. This is not a great selection here that we're facing. Fair amount of battle. We're successful, but without taking any wounds, and we find ourselves, let's see, trail rations and a luncheon truncheon, which is both a weapon and food. I think. Right? Yeah, it's a two-handed food item. Yeah, great. But anyway, you know, the characters are fairly powerful at this point, and they can pretty much handle what gets thrown against them. Again, Magic Realm has the same kind of situation. Once you've done some looting and start getting some items and stuff, usually you're pretty damn good. We do have the encounter, though, which could be interesting. Ancient fountain stands here. I can make a drink, make a tribute, or ignore it. Well, let's make a tribute. We each play gold and make a roll. Let's see what happens. We have so much money that... Okay. The spirits scorn your pathetic offer. You become demoralized. Well, I'm already demoralized. That's great. The fight. I failed a curse check. This guy also will try. Certain that the spirits have accepted your offer, you leave the fountain with renewed confidence. You become blessed and gain a luck. Pretty good deal. I get the blessed marker. The bonus on morale. Makes up for his problems, right? And then We draw another danger card here, but that won't increase any numbers. It's going to be a reshuffle, and it's not going to cause any issues. These guys did their stuff on the turn, got rid of their markers, yeah. Okay, and we're ready to go. So we gathered the party back together, and we fatigued him, unfortunately. I don't think he has an easy way out of that, I'm not sure. But we drew an event, which is this bird blight. If you're a Puritan, Warlock, or Wild, you have to make a morale check, be demoralized. That didn't happen, but we are going to be facing 4 critters. Definite nasties here. This is on the mage. He's got 1. But the one thing the watcher here petrified both the mage and the tank, and that's going to be somewhat problematic. But wow, we have actually a lot of people who have a status that's kind of permanent. So if we can make it through this and make it up here, we may be able to blow things up pretty easily. He's the only one without a status right now. On the other hand, this might be an ugly fight, actually. Maybe not. We wiped him out fairly easily, actually, and I got this spirit guide. Somebody else got it, but basically it allows me to explore in any map stance. Now, I still have to be in a rest action. I can't do the explore outside of that, but it gives me a chance to do a magic test for it and be able to find things more easily. So that's pretty cool. I don't think I'm going to be stopping and trying to spend time to do these, because if I stop and rest, I lose all these statuses. I'm going to just hope that I can get up here, finish this up without any problems. So this card made everybody lose a luck, or make us lose 4 luck to prevent getting one of the hands. It's getting dangerous. We're down to being able to do that once more, and that's when things start kind of snowballing and getting uglier. There are ways to get those hands back off. We saw, for example, when we defeated the bird, we would have taken 2 of them off there. So there's some hope, but at least we are playing against some risk at this point, which makes things a little bit more interesting. It was starting to feel, I was happy this adventure looked like, hey, maybe it'll start kicking up some dirt, some nastiness will show up, because it's feeling a little easy. We're beating everything up. Well, we dealt with this. The campaign definitely does feel kind of like once you pass a certain point, you start becoming much more difficult. You have a much easier time handling all the monsters and everything. And I was kind of hoping it would feel a little bit more difficult as it goes, but that would be hard to do, because there's no real easy way to take the scenarios and say, well, you can't start with this scenario, because the game doesn't suggest, hey, give yourself some extra experience for this scenario or something like that. It really should. Then it can make these more difficult somehow. I don't know how. Up the number of monsters that you face. Make things uglier. This is supposed to be the track that causes that problem, but it's been fairly easy to keep that in check now. I selected characters who are good at making luck. There are plenty of characters in the game who are not, who might have more trouble with the campaign. It happened again. This one, Witch Hill got hit. And that one also went up the turn before. But now we're ready to go in and solve this, and maybe we'll get some luck off that. We did off the last one. All we have to do is move in here and get lucky on, let's see, it's something special in the objective here. If you use the blasting card, remove the fungus counter. Yeah, so we got to look at the blasting card. How is that worded? We have to rest, so it's going to take us 2 turns in order to destroy it. And add 1 to the die roll if you have alchemy. I have 1 level of alchemy. If I rest, I might be able to get that up. Nope, I don't have enough experience. Bad stuff. Nasty monster. We have a chance of avoiding it, moving cautiously into there. But we are triggering this as a 6. That means we don't have the luck to do it. So we are going to see the hand show up there, and we're going to see a marker here. And I think that's going to cause a Doom card to be drawn. I got to look all that up, see what all happens, but yeah, ugliness. The Doom card matches the location, which it has where the Doom hand is, which means one of these effects will take place. If you didn't get one that did, you'd keep drawing until you do. So that's not a big deal. You're going to get something that matches the right location. A deep rumble echoes in the south as the Stinkblut rushes into Tomb Lake, and the murky lake waters rise to smash through the Ghost Gate and flood the catacombs. A destroyed counter at Ghost Gate and a perilous at the catacombs, and the danger level at Fishmonger Camp and Tomb Lake go up. So this area's gotten scarier. If we go here, we can try to shoot it away, but also something else happens. We can try to dispel it, and you take piercing damage for doing that. But if you get enough hits on it, you make it go away, and I think you remove, you remove one of that color's Hand of Doom markers. There are only allowed to be 2 of each color in the game, which means you've got to kind of get smacked around on all of the different regions for this to really hurt, for you to lose the game. You've got to get bad cards in all regions, basically. So it's not just, hey, collect 6 of these. Also, if anybody is in that Hand of Doom space, you draw a Sign of Power card, and you resolve whatever its effects are instead of having a normal encounter in the space, which is kind of interesting. Now here there's no actual encounter. I've only got 3 people, so it's going to be a big monster and 2 little guys. Careful, the first big monster I drew, I see yellow and I think, oh, that's yellow. No, I got to worry about these 2 colors. Those didn't apply, so I keep drawing. This one has a yellow, so that's what we're going to face. I don't know what the hell it is. The Hook Goat. And that will be attacking everyone. It has a blue rally. That means some troops are going to show up. It commands cultists. It has evade, pain, and retaliate. That all sounds bad. It's got a lot of hits. Yeah, this is nasty, but it's a daemon. Don't I have something against daemons? I'm going to have to look around and see what I can do. I might have some special powers that can go against it, and I still have those 2 to pull. I forgot to check perceptions there. However, I failed. I don't have luck on him. He failed, so he's got a problem with it now. I don't think any of his weaknesses hurt it. And what else? Oh, there was one other thing I didn't mention that I did. The Lowlands monster deck got reshuffled due to that, and the Law deck got reshuffled due to that because it's the Lowlands. So the Law, because Brutal Burg is where the Law comes out of. The all works means we're all going to be facing this. This has a command of cult. I don't think I've got any other cult things there, so nobody gets a bonus there. Evade, doubles are a problem. Pain, he causes more hurt. Retaliate, if he takes wounds, he does piercing damage to the attacker if they don't kill him. This is going to be problematic. It really is, but he's a huge monster. And then I've also got other things to deal with at the same time. Everybody's got their own monster to deal with as well. Now they're allowed to go after this though, I believe, because I believe it counts as targeting them as well. I'll look at that, but I think that's how it works, where I'll have the choice to shoot at either the guy targeting me or the thing that's shooting us all, basically. Not really shooting, it's just so big that it's hurting us. Combat action, I think I'm going to try to use the Puzzle Prism. What that's going to allow me to do is if I succeed in a magic test and I roll equal to or higher than its experience point value, which is not that unlikely, I can just put it under there. Now, that means I can't do my shockwave, but this is still in play, so I might be able to avoid all damage from that if I can put this away. Now, if I fail, a random monster out of the card comes out, but there isn't anything under there yet. one thing I can do is once I have this under there, I can say, well, I don't really want to ever try this again against anything big. I'll sell this or alchemy it. And then, of course, this goes back in the discard pile. I don't know. Might end up trying a quick action or something as well to try to fix things. Hiding the big baddie means we don't get to drop this to a 1. We don't get any loot, we don't get lots of XP off of it, but that's okay. This guy ended up safe. He got a lousy card roll, and now it's time to rest it up, I guess. He doesn't necessarily have to rest, but he's got 8 XP. He probably wants to. So I don't see any reason why we wouldn't cautiously rest. Honestly, with both of them, although exploring this might be useful. I'm not sure about him because he doesn't have a rest marker here. It says you may explore in any map stance and use magic in place of perception when you do. But this thing doesn't require exploration at all. This requires resting. So it doesn't really help us to do anything. But I think he might be able to explore without actually resting. So I might have gotten a chance to explore this. I don't know. Explore here anyway, it's metaphysical. Okay, well, we've managed to heal everything. Not by normal means, but using the mend wounds because we're in a dangerous space, perilous, whatever. So you can't heal. This guy, he picked up Find Weakness. Others picked up some skills as well. What the hell did he take? I think he chose not to buy one. But he took Streetwise, which isn't a great skill, but we're kind of running out of the things that I think really help these characters, and you're not able to take most of the skills yourself. Now we come to the chance to use the blasting charges. If you're on a bridge, you may discard this and roll a d6. If you roll a 3 or more, you destroy the space, and I have +1. I have 1 luck, so I could avoid this, and I succeed. So, I guess we leave the space. I don't know. I think you just can't enter if there's a destroyed marker. But that means we have actually succeeded in this mission. And let's go see what the rules say. If you use the blasting, remove the fungus counter from that space and from the Temple of Madness and reduce the danger to both of those to 1. Then we each get a luck. The town level at the Holy Ardor is increased. Discard persistent doom cards with fungus on them and remove each yellow doom counter from the doom track. Well, there aren't any. Having purged the Blight from the north and destroyed the Hell's Mouth, spewing its horror into the foothills, you rejoice in your success. Meanwhile, the Alchemist solution you added to the water supply has made its way downriver and mingles with the grave slime of Tomb Lake, causing unforeseen consequences. Place a perilous counter at the Fishmonger camp and the Ghost Gate. If there are any scholars in the party, the scholar with the highest morale can take the Veteran Plague Finder Triumph card. Okay, I'm beginning to think maybe triumphs go to a specific player. This one went to the player who actually killed that. It may have been him, I don't know. He's the one person who could have used it and I forgot about it. Right. That may be one that affects everyone anyway. When you draw a Fungus Highlands Doom card, discard it without resolving it and remove the corresponding Doom counter from the board. If it was the 6th counter, you may continue the game. I'm not even sure how much sense that makes. Discard it and remove the corresponding Doom counter. If you generated a Doom counter, fine, but what if you didn't just generate one? Would you still remove one? That doesn't seem clear from there. Anyway, we gave them the luck. I forgot about the Fishmonger camp. Oh, I forgot about some of these other things. Town level at Holy Order. Working its way back. But I get a couple of perilous counters. One of them's down here, but that one actually, I mean, they both possibly mean something, but one of them is a destroyed location, so it probably isn't going to be someplace I can go. I guess we read the next thing. You've helped free the Highlands from the creeping Blight, but not from the ever-tightening grip of the Hand of Doom. Do you dare defend the borderlands and strike back against the Hand of Doom? Yeah. And that'll be the next scenario, and I'll start covering that on the next video. But right now, we have resolved this one. Yay. What the hell is it called? Cleanse the Blight. We're being the good guys in this one. Alright. But that is not assured. Like, could have served the bird guy. I think if you have the fungus, you've got to. And, well, you gotta try. And you end up, following a different path, and that's kind of cool. Whatever.